Hello everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube Draft. We have an absolutely wild pack to start, where almost every single card is a reasonable pick. So first of all, we have Zealous Conscripts plus Kiki Jiki, which is an infinite combo. We could take one and try and wheel the other. This also combos with Restoration Angel and Deceiver Exarch. There's also two good lands. Plateau would have been a solid pick in the past formats. I used to think Red White Aggro was the best deck, but lately people have been drafting it a bit more, and lately I've had a lot of success with Gruul decks. I've trophied every Gruul league I've done. Then the Tinker is a great build around. Exhume is a great build around. Echo of Eons is a great build around. Toxic Deluge is an interactive spell, then Fast Bond, and Scarab God, Revoker. Honestly, almost every card in this pack is first pickable. I think I'm going to take the Tinker. Lots of reasonable options here, but Tinker has the highest upside. It's very, very strong if you can play this on turn 2 or turn 3. And it's also blue, which is a good tiebreaker. Now we can take Azorius Signet, plays with the Tinker, and is just a good card. If we had taken Kiki Jiki, we would probably take Rogran Triome here. But yeah, I think we take the Signet, given that we have a Tinker. Now we get a nice miscalculation. That's a great pickup. Imperial Recruiter would be the pick if we were on the Kiki plan. Really, it depends if the Zealous Conscript comes around. If Conscripts wheels, then I'll have wished that we'd taken Kiki. But yeah, let's take the miscalculation. Really good pickup. So to make Tinker work, you want at least 4 cheap artifacts like Azorius Signet. 2 pieces of top end, ideally that do different things. So like Sundering Titan to blow up their lands, plus Inkwell Leviathan to just like pressure their life total. And then ideally you want some amount of library manipulation too, whether that's like Mystical Tutor to find the Tinker, Brainstorm to put your Tinker targets back into your deck, just Preordain and Ponder to add consistency, things like that. I don't really like having cards like Tinker that we're trying to build around, but then only have one copy of Tinker, because you could just not draw the Tinker in your top 15 cards, and then if you're all in on the Tinker, that's not going to go too well for you. Wow, okay. Some good stuff here. 2 of the best Tinker targets in Cityscape Leveler and Sundering Titan. Also, Upheaval is good in a lot of Tinker decks if we end up with Artifact Mana. And there's Mishra's Workshop, which is also good in Artifact decks. I think we take the Sundering Titan here. This is one of the premium Tinker targets. Best case scenario, we're mono blue Tinker, and then this is just insane. You blow up so many of your opponent's lands. Even if we are playing blue-white or something, then it's fine. Sundering Titan is still a very strong card. Yeah, we'll take this. Okay, Mystic Confluence is extremely strong. There's also Wasteland, but I think in this deck I want to take Sensei's Top. This does cut blue better, but this is exactly the kind of card you want with Tinker. It's cheap, you don't mind sacrificing it. It can dig for the Tinker, and this, we already are going to prioritize tutors very highly, and so having shuffle effects with Sensei's Divining Top is really nice. Typically, I would definitely take Mystic Confluence, but given that we just took Sundering Titan and Tinker, I think it makes sense to take the top here. We also could end up being a Trinket Mage Urza Saga deck. Yeah, we'll take this. Okay, there's a Bolas' Citadel. Yeah, we just take that. Batterskull's fine, but Bolas' Citadel is a really good Tinker target as well. Marsh Flats could end up helping us, but let's just take the Citadel. Now we have 2 of the best Tinker targets. 2 good enablers, cheap interactive spell, the card Tinker itself. Really, really good start. Now we just need to find some card draw. I guess Mystic Confluence is card draw already past that, but I mean like cheap cantrips and Mystical Tutor. Okay, interesting pack. There's Inkwell Leviathan, which is another good thing to put into play, but I think we take Vampiric Tutor. We don't have any blue-black lands, and we did pass Watery Grave, but this is the perfect deck for Vampiric Tutor. This card's not that good in a fair deck, but when you have a card that's just by far the best card in your deck, then these tutors go up in value a lot. Also, it just looks like black is fairly open, so I don't mind that being the splash color. Inkwell Leviathan is good, and if I only had one top-end piece, I would be more tempted by it, but we already have 2 good Tinker targets. It's still only pack 1. We only really need 2, and we still have good chance to get a 3rd. So, yeah, let's take the Tutor. Okay, Memory Deluge is a great pickup. Very, very good card selection. Okay, Toxic Deluge comes around. This was our first pack. I'm surprised both of the lands wheeled, but that's fine. Kiki and Deceiver Exarch and Zealous Conscripts are both taken, so I'm happy we're not fighting for that. We'll take the Deluge. Um, this pack is kind of bad. Iona is interesting if we end up going towards Reanimator, but Exhume was taken. So I think we just take Into the Triome. It doesn't help us yet, but we could end up splashing like Oko or something. Okay, we'll take a Dark Depths. High upside pick. Even higher upside with Vampiric Tutor. Okay, nice. Cityscape Leveler comes around. We'll take Beaumont Courier, which is a cheap artifact. Magda, I guess. Loran, I guess. Neither's going to be played, but this is a sweet start. Tons of playables, tons of good stuff with Tinker. We have a Tutor and like Memory Deluge for card draw. We also have three of the best things to Tinker into play. I want Artifact Mana. Ideally, we would have some ways to just hardcast these things, so like Mana Vault would be really nice. Just like big one-shots of mana. More cantrips would be good, of course, as well. Okay, what do we want here? Probably Force of Negation. Ancient Tomb is interesting. Minsc and Boo is great. I mean, this is like the Omnath stuff in this pack is kind of insane with Fable, Omnath, Nahiri, Minsc. Inquisition of Kozilek is good, but I think I would rather have Force of Negation in this deck. Yeah, we'll take the counterspell. Through the Breach is kind of interesting. It does work with both of these, but I still think I want the cheap interaction. Okay. There's a Hallowed Fountain, which could help us. There's also Trinket Mage, Oblivion Stone, Koldatha Forge Master. I think we just take the Trinket Mage. Beaumont Courier is not great here, but it's okay. And we're likely to get at least one more artifact. I would like to get some fast mana that we can find with a mage. But yeah, I think that is the pick, and then we can probably wheel Koldatha Forge Master. Okay, interesting pick. Ashiok is the best card. Lotus Petal and Golgari Signet are artifacts for us, but I think Ashiok is just too good to pass here if we're playing blue-black. Granted, we don't have any fixing yet, but the black cards we have are really key. Yeah, let's take the Ashiok here. Okay, there's Vampire Hexmage, which combos with the Dark Depths. There's also Kaito. Golos to a lesser extent. I think we're just going to consider and wheel the Dark Depths, though. I don't really want Kaito that much, and like it's fine, but it's worse when you have less creatures, and I want cheap card draw, and considers quite a bit cheaper than Kaito. Yeah, I think that Vampire Hexmage will very likely come around. This is primarily in the format. I mean, it's fine in just like a black aggressive deck sometimes as an answer to Planeswalkers and stuff, but it's much better with Dark Depths. So we'll get a little greedy and try to wheel it. Okay, this pack is pretty bad for us. Custodial Lich is a strong card. So is Corrosive Portal. We're not really a Lich deck. I think we'll take the Portal here. This is a card that isn't good yet, but if we get some more artifact mana, it will become good. Oh, now we have Zagoth Triome, but also Ponder, and I think Ponder is too good to pass here. This would be a nice tri-land, or dual land really. We're probably just blue-black, but I think Ponder is too good to pass. And this sort of card is actually mana fixing, so yeah, that's fine. Okay, there's Ugin. It's not an artifact for Tinker, but if we're making a bunch of colorless mana, it's good. I don't think we're a Time Spiral deck. I think I'll take Murktide here. Yeah, it's pretty good with the cheap cantrips, and it's an alternate win condition. May or may not make the main deck. Oh, Baleful Strix is one of the best late pickups we could get. It's a great card, it's in our colors, and it's also an artifact to sack to Tinker. Okay, this pack was bad for us before, and it's still bad. I guess we take Master... Oh, wait, no, actually, let's take Through the Breach. Yeah, we might not main deck this, but it at least has potential. It's good with the Cityscape Leveler and Sundering Titan. Alright, this deck is very sweet. The only problem is it's terrible mana fixing. Interesting. I think there was a Koldatha Forge Master in this pack, and I'm very surprised that didn't come around. I think we take Oblivion Stone. Academy Ruins could become good, but if we're trying to play two colors and we have terrible fixing, I think we would rather just not play a colorless land. Okay. This is the Naya pack, and we're playing blue-black, so it's not great. We'll take I guess Tireless Tracker. Man, it looks like the Hex Mage is not going to come around, so we're not going to play Dark Depths, but that's fine. Don't think we're playing any of this. Man, I really am surprised that Vampire Hex Mage did not wheel, but I'm fine with that. Tinker is plenty of a plan. We don't need Dark Depths as well. Okay, so going into pack 3, what are the last needs we need to address? We only have 3 good 1 or 2 mana artifacts, so I would really like a Mox, of course, or just other cheap artifacts. We don't see any of that here. There's Thespian Stage, which combos with the Dark Depths, but it's kind of narrow if we don't have Vampire Hexmage 2. I think we just take Counterspell here. Yeah, we'll take the Counterspell. Very good interaction. Okay, good pack here. Thran Dynamo will let us hardcast these more easily, but I think we need to be a little faster. So I'm liking Chromox. Relic is also pretty good. We can find it with Trinket Mage, and we can sack it to Tinker, but I think we'd rather have the speed of Chromox. Yeah. Not as good as a normal Mox, but still pretty solid. Trinket Mage is on the fence now. If we get one more good thing to search for, then it becomes good. And there's Walking Ballista. There's also, like, Damnation would be a good card out of the board. Time Twister could get there. But yeah, I think we just take the Walking Ballista. Okay, now we could take Tezzeret. We could take Worn Power Stone, Boros Signet, although this is one of the worst signets for us. This land doesn't help us. We might be on the Mono Basics game plan. I think we just take the Worn Power Stone here. So if we play 17 lands, we honestly could just run the deck as it is. The Murktide is not looking amazing. It's playable, but it's not great. Okay, what do we have here? Spellseeker can find Vampiric Tutor, which can find Tinker, but the Spellseeker can't find Tinker itself. Shallow Grave is okay, but not great. Hymn to Torok is good, but it's tough on the mana, and we're definitely much heavier blue. We're splashing black just for, like, Tutor, Ashiok, Deluge, and Baleful Strix. Let's take the Ancestral Vision. Okay, there's a Knight's Whisper. Solid pickup. Okay, what are the cuts here? I think we can cut Oblivion Stone from the main deck. Cut Murktide. Although, Murktide's pretty good. And I want to have a lot of blue cards in my Force of Negation deck. We could potentially cut Worn Power Stone. We could also maybe cut one of these Tinker targets. Mindslaver, that's kind of interesting. Nothing else seems that good. We'll take the Mindslaver. It's not going to be in the main deck, but it's a good sideboard card against Storm and some other decks. Ooh, Retrofitter Foundry. That's one of the best late pickups we could get. Plays really well with Tinker, really well with Trinket Mage. Yeah, we'll take that. Okay, do we want Murderous Rider or Thespian Stage? Are we playing Dark Depths with pretty little redundancy? We have Vampiric Tutor to find the other half, but otherwise both cards are just kind of bad. I think we just take the Murderous Rider, but I'm not even going to main deck it. Well, maybe we should main deck it. Well, we don't have much removal. Let's move Courser Portal to the board. It's a little slow. I think we can cut one Power Stone. Okay. Thran Dynamo, Timeless Lotus, and Muldrifter are all reasonable here. I'm kind of leaning towards just taking a Muldrifter. Like, yes, Thran Dynamo is good with Sundering Titan and Cityscape Leveler, but it's not that good with the rest of our deck. I guess it's also good with Ballista, though. I think I'm still taking the Mole Drifter. Now, let's take the Thren Dynamo. Okay, Snapcaster Mage is great in this deck. Probably not main decking this. We'll take that for the board. Lotus Bloom for the board. Alright, gonna have to make some more cuts. We could cut Toxic Deluge, but it really, really helps in a lot of matchups. Do we want all three of these Tinker targets? I think so. I guess I'll cut Murktide Regent. And then one more cut. We also could potentially play 16 lands. If we had good fixing, I would be fine with playing 16 lands, because we actually have a somewhat low curve. But with bad fixing, I don't really love just having like 8 basics of each type. We could cut the Murderous Rider, but I like that card a lot. I think we cut one of these 3 Tinker targets. I'll cut the Bolas Citadel, actually. It's solid, but it's not the best in this deck where, like, we don't have any life gain. We're kind of slow already. So if we just put Bolas Citadel into play, like, if we just turn to it off of Chrome Mox against control, we'll win. But I think putting Sundering Titan into play that way is also fine. And Bolas Citadel is much worse against aggro or in other circumstances. So let's sort by color. So we're solidly heavier blue. This might just be, let's see, let's do 10-7. The mono basics mana base. Very unusual for me. As longtime viewers know, I do love lands, but not in this deck. We'll run it with 17 basic lands and a pretty sweet Tinker combo. See you in round 1. Alright, here we are for round 1. We're on the draw against Kevtai. We can keep this hand. We have both of our colors. Turn 2 interactive spell. Playing against a Bant deck, okay. Memory Deluge is a pretty good draw. Sakura Tribuilder, okay. So they got some mana development going, but we have Counterspell, so if they ramp into a Planeswalker or something on turn 4, we have the good answer. Walking Ballista does not answer Sakura Tribuilder, so we're going to hold that for now. And then we'll see what we get with the Trinket Mage. We have a lot of mana sink, so we don't really need Retrofit or Foundry, but I also don't really want to pitch anything in my hand to Chrome Mox. Alright, draw go. I'm fine playing draw go as well. Miscalculation is a good draw. Let's just keep playing islands. This looks like something we're going to counter. Yeah, let's miscalculation this. And then just pass again. No need to jam anything. We'll hold up Memory Deluge. Hopefully they just pass. I would love to play the Deluge. Nice. Okay, let's take Signet plus Night's Whisper. And we have 5 mana. So we can play Signet. We cannot play Signet Night's Whisper because Counterspell is double blue. So I think we just go land Trinket Mage here. Get the top or Foundry? Probably Foundry. We'll pass with Counterspell up. Wall of Roots is fine. And they just pass. Interesting. Okay, so let's go land, Signet, Night's Whisper, Foundry. Snapcaster Mage was a great draw because now we can Counterspell this turn and then snap Counterspell next turn. We also have Deluge available from the graveyard next turn, and we can make a Thopter. Coalition Relic. Is that worth a counter? I don't think so. I'm going to let them have their mana and attack their threats. This could get backfire if they have like Hydroid Krasis or something. Oh, I guess, or if they need red mana. But I still think I'd rather just let them have their mana at this point. Thieving Skydiver. Okay, that is something we want to counter. Okay, we'll untap and then just play draw go. Almost definitely. Okay, we have 7 mana, so we can play Memory Deluge even if we ponder. So let's ponder. These are actually all pretty good. We could tinker right now, I think. Wait, let's see. So we could go put Vampiric Tutor on top, play Vampiric Tutor, grab Tinker. We'd have to tap one more land, so then we would have 3 islands, a swamp, and an Azorius Signet up. Then we go Snapcaster Ponder. Then we play Tinker. So we can do that this turn. The question is, do we want to do that? I think the answer is no. Like, A, they could have Spell Pierce or Daze or something, which would be a disaster. And B, I just don't think we lose anything by waiting one turn. So let's do this, and then we can potentially do this with Counterspell up next turn. So we'll play Island and then pass. And then we have Toxic Deluge on top, which would be a fine draw. But if they don't do anything relevant, we'll Vampiric Tutor for Tinker. We could also just hardcast one of our things. Omnath. Okay, I think that's worth a counter. Among other things, if we're trying to attack their mana, Omnath lets them generate a bunch of mana. So Snapcaster Counterspell. Counter your Omnath. Then they're tapping out, so we're going to get a window to resolve something. Okay, Sword of Fire and Ice is fine. This is, I'm not going to say it's 100% over, but it's getting close to that. They equip the sword here, but they can't attack with that, so it's fine. Oh, whoops. Okay, it's fine. We should have tapped, we should have left up a swamp. Now we have to vamp in our upkeep, but that's okay. So Vampiric Tutor for Tinker. Or do we just grab Sundering Titan and Heart? No, let's get Tinker still. I really don't mind sacking this servo. And this gives us more mana for other plays. So we'll go Tinker, sack Servo, grab Sundering Titan. We can blow up tons of their lands. We have to blow up our own swamp, but that's fine. Okay. So we're playing against a 4-color Omnath deck. Should be a fairly good matchup because they're not doing anything relevant in the early turns. They're just setting up with their mana. And then that plays into our counter magic well. Although, granted, we did draw all of our counter spells except for Force of Negation. We're not always going to have that many. Still, seems like a pretty good setup. Do we want Bolas's Citadel? I don't think so, especially on the draw. Corrosive Portal could be good. I think I do want the Toxic Deluge against their Mana Dorks. Ballista seems good too. Okay, I think we just run it back. Yeah, we'll submit again. Deck seems sweet. Alright, good hand. We don't have black mana for Night's Whisper yet, but we also could just pitch the Night's Whisper to hold up Miscalc on turn 1 if we want to. I think that's probably not necessary, but if they play like turn 1 Mana Vault or something, then I would. Okay, Scavenging Ooze is fine. I think I'm just going to pass. I wouldn't fault someone for taking a safer line, which is to pitch the Night's Whisper and hold up Miscalculation on turn 1. We might end up regretting that, but we haven't seen any 3-mana plays that are super relevant. Okay, well, I guess that kind of is. That could be a problem. And if you don't have much removal to deal with that, yeah, that's actually a huge problem. Let's play... If we Night's Whisper, it just invites them to go for it. So, okay, we're going to play Swamp to bluff a removal spell and pass. And if they do go for the equip, we're going to be in really bad shape. It's not over. We can just find Tinker and win. But Okay, nice. That's exactly what we were hoping for. So we'll miscalc this. Then we only take 2. Now if we top deck Tinker, we basically just win. They only have 1 card. Force of Negation, okay. So let's play Knight's Whisper. Okay, we'll play Island Ponder. There's the Tinker. Okay, so we'll go Sundering Titan. I don't think they have Thoughtseize, so we'll go Island. Tinker. No, we will not shuffle. They get to hit us this turn. But then we can put Sundering Titan into play, blow up their lands, and Sundering Titan blocks their Scavenging Ooze really well. It's a 4-4 right now that can grow to a 5-5, but that's fine. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot here. It's not over because the thing is we can't really attack very profitably while they have this Scavenging Ooze with a sword on it. Okay, Sylvan is fine. Do we want to get Cityscape Leveler or Sundering Titan? I think Sundering Titan is better. So we'll go land, Signet, Crow Mox pitching nothing. Then Tinker pitching Crow Mox. We can also Snapcaster Tinker next turn. So grab Sundering Titan, blow up 2 of your lands and 1 of ours. And now they don't have any attacks. We also still have Force of Negation if we need it, although we would prefer not to have to use it. Okay. Considers an okay draw, but we're not going to do that this turn. So we'll go Snapcaster Mage, Tinker for Cityscape Leveler. Oh, whoops. What? That was a terrible play. I totally forgot they had Scavenging Ooze. Okay, so don't get to Tinker there. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I think it's still a pretty good position. We can consider end of turn. I guess the board is kind of stalled, but we have a huge mana advantage, so we should be able to find some more gas. And eventually, if we can find a way to kill the Scavenging Ooze, we can start hitting for 7, which is a quick clock. If this is like a Minsc and Boo, we have Force of Negation up. Okay, I think that is worth a counter here when they're kind of low on mana. Alright, let's take our draw step. Ancestral's fine, we'll consider. Don't need another swamp. Alright, we're at a bit of a standstill, but with the Ancestral suspended, more time passing is probably fine for us. They have 4 mana. A lot of live draws. Cantrips, Ashiok. We can almost hardcast Cityscape Leveler. Okay, that's a nice draw. Let's just go for that. Alright, we'll swing for 7. It's a 3-turn clock now. If they do manage to kill our Sundering Titan, then we're going to have to blow up 2 of our own lands. Oh, do they even... Oh, that's almost game. Actually, that is game. And we couldn't have played around it, really, because that is flying. I guess we could have just passed and held up Murderous Rider. Well, yeah, we are dead here. We're going to have to settle this in game 3. Maybe we're just supposed to play really conservatively and just play draw go there. It seemed like killing that... Like, we had no idea they had to play. We hadn't seen any flash threats from their deck. Tough to say, but we do lose that one. Gonna have to win game 3. We're on the play, though. I think we just run it back. Yeah, we'll submit again. Alright, great hand. We have turn 1 Ancestral. We have Toxic Deluge to keep up if they have a fast start. No blue card to pitch to Force of Negation yet, but that's fine. Okay. If we wanted to be really conservative, we could Chrome Mox pitching Deluge to hold up Toxic or Force of Negation, but I don't think that makes sense. We haven't seen Channel. Tireless Tracker. Okay, so we could Deluge to just 1-for-1 this. I honestly think that's worth it. We'll see what we draw, but I think it's probably worth it. Yeah, that card can create a lot of value. It is unfortunate that we've drawn only lands. We still don't have Force of Negation up. Crucible of Worlds, that seems fine. Then Argoth, alright. Next turn the AV comes off. Ponder, alright, not going to play that because I want to hold up Force of Negation. Hardcast. It's high upside, we could find Tinker and just play Tinker, but I don't think we need to do that here. Against the Crucible of Worlds, the Sundering Titan is a little less powerful. Okay, I think I will counter this. There's an argument to holding this since they don't have creatures, but given our lack of removal in our deck, I think being able to deal with that now is good. And now we're going to get to draw our cards. Okay, good hits. We could play Tinker. Very interesting situation. So we have a few lines. We could pitch Ponder to Chrome Mox and then Tinker for something, blow up their lands and just set them back. Or we could just put Cityscape Leveler into play with Counterspell up. And I think that's probably better. We also could just play Ashiok, but I think I would rather put Cityscape Leveler into play this turn. This is a situation where I would definitely take Bolus of Citadel if I could. Do we pitch Ponder or Ashiok? Probably Ponder. So let's play Swamp, Chrome Mox, pitch Ponder, Tinker, Chrome Mox, and a Cityscape Leveler. And we have Counterspell available. If we didn't have Counterspell available and they have a clean answer to Cityscape Leveler, it's really bad. It's like a 3-for-1. But with Counterspell to protect this, I like our position. They can play Acidic Slime and we can counter it. Yep. Then we're going to start coming in. Do we want to blow up? Oh, good draw. Let's play the Night's Whisper. Okay, we can Snapcaster Tinker soon, but we cannot Snapcaster Counterspell, and we don't have Miscalculation or anything, so this turn we're just going to play the Ashiok. Let's attack for 8 and blow up their Mox Emerald. I think I'd rather kill that than their Crucible of Worlds. Ashiok down and start going to work on their library. Ooh, we could play an Omnath. That seems kind of enticing. Sweet. Alright, smooth start. We are 1-0. I'll see you in round 2. Alright, here we are for round 2. We're on the draw again against Derp Tor with an okay draw. It's a little land heavy, but we have both of our colors. That was the worst thing we could draw. I think we'll just play land top here. We don't have Brainstorm, so we have no way to put this back into our deck. So now Tinker is only going to be able to get Cityscape Leveler. Jace, okay. Yeah, this is not looking good. I'm not going to spin the top here. I think we'll just take our draw step. There's the Tinker, okay. Alright, let's just play Island and pass. The problem here is that without Bolus's Citadel, Sundering Titan is what we would want to get, but that's gone. Bolus's Citadel is not in our main deck. We'll bring it in against Blue Eye Control. But putting Cityscape Leveler into play is pretty bad against a lot of stuff that Blue Eye could have. Like, if they just Teferi bounce it, we're in a terrible position. But we don't really have another option, so I think we still want to just go for it, basically, and hope they don't have it. It's not a super great position to just like shoot your shot like that when you don't really have a backup plan, but I think we need to do that. I'll see what we have on top. Like maybe if we find counterspell or force of negation, we could wait a bit. So what we're going to do here is end a turn, place Sensei Divining Top, then consider whichever card we don't want of the three into the graveyard. Silverblade Paladin, okay. Alright, I mean we have a plan. We're putting an 8/8 into play on turn 3. Hopefully that's enough. Okay, we don't want this island. We definitely do want the force. So let's go Snapcaster Mage, Force of Negation Island. Then consider the island into the yard. And now this is honestly great because we have Force of Negation available to protect our Cityscape Leveler. We can pitch our Snap if we need to. So we'll go land, Tinker. Grab the Leveler. And then pass with Counter Magic up. And this is a 3-turn clock. So basically, we need to hope that in their between now and 3 turns from now, they can only muster one answer to the Leveler. And if they don't have something this turn, then we can Force Negation into Snap Force, which would be great. Alright, they just play Blade Splicer. They actually could just potentially trade with a Cityscape Leveler if they put enough power and toughness in front of it. Silverblade with Double Strike. Okay, they say no, but then they make Golem, and they probably will pair that. But we can kill the Silverblade Paladin with a Cityscape Leveler, so this should be fine, actually. They pass. They do have a Path to Exile. That's too bad. Still, this is pretty insane. Turn 3, Cityscape Leveler with Counter Magic up. And we get to hit for 8. Like, it's not over. It's definitely not over. And if we top deck a brick, we're in kind of bad shape. But if we top deck anything, then I love our spot, especially if it's Counterspell. We're going to attack and kill their Silverblade Paladin. So they're not going to have any blocks, and they don't have any attacks here. Ashiok, interesting draw. I think we just jam it. They're likely to be able to kill it, but I think that's fine. And we're going to kill this. This does mean they're going to probably be able to flip their Jace, but I think that's okay. So now there's an 8/8 trample coming in. They don't have any blocks. And now I'll jam the Ashiok. There's a decent chance they can kill it with Colonnade, but if they're sinking their resources into killing this Ashiok when we have Cityscape Leveler in play, bashing for 8 a turn, that's fine. And now we have 2 good things to put into play if they don't kill the Ashiok. If they've land, they can use the Power Stone to animate Colonnade and hit for 8. They loot with Jace, pitch a land. If they do find a way to kill the Cityscape Leveler, whether it's Oust or Teferi or Solitude or Brazen Borrower or anything else, we're in a pretty bad shape. We don't have much more gas. They don't animate the Colonnade. That's interesting. And then put Ashiok to 1. We could choose to put Thraben Inspector into play or just plus Ashiok again. See what we draw. Oblivion Ring on the Leveler. That is bad. That's quite bad. Okay, I actually think we need to put Thraben Inspector into play here. As bad as it is, we're going to lose our Ashiok next turn either way, so milling them isn't really a plan. And this way we get a bit of card draw. Do we have any answers to the Oblivion Ring? I don't think so. And it sucks that it's exiled too, so we can't even unearth it later. I think we're pretty far behind now. They're going to flip their Jace. Oh, never mind. Okay, let's Toxic Deluge for 3, so they don't get to flip their Jace. But they still have Colonnade, so that's where we need to race. If we hit a couple land drops, we can Sundering Titan and put them back. But we need to top deck something. This is a tough matchup. The fact that they have such good answers to our... Oh, okay, yeah. We're probably dead here. The fact that they have such good answers to our Tinker targets is pretty bad. Like, you really want Tinker to be 3 mana win the game. And in this matchup, it's very much not. Chromox, okay. We're 2 mana short of playing Sundering Titan. And even Sundering Titan would probably not be enough against the Gideon. They can hit us for 9. No, they can hit us for 11 this turn. Yeah, I think we're going to have to settle this in games 2 and 3. So Oblivion Stone is kind of interesting here. So is Corsive Portal. Is there anything we can draw here? Not really. I'll take 6, and I'll take a draw step, and maybe there's something I'm not thinking of, but probably we're going to have to go to game 2 here. Okay, 1 mana short of Sundering Titan. They can kill us on board. They might not see it, but I still don't think playing Sundering Titan the next turn does it either. Okay, so they're playing a blue-white tempo deck. This is honestly probably our worst matchup because they have a quick clock, but also very relevant disruption. Let's bring in the Stone, kind of like the Portal, kind of like the Citadel. I think I'm actually going to cut the Leveler because it's so weak to Oust and stuff. What else do we want to cut? Sundering Titan seems fine. I like our cheap artifacts and counter magic. I might actually cut Ashiok, although we're on the play. Ashiok's probably worth it on the play. Maybe we just don't play the Portal. I do think I really want the Stone, though. Definitely not going to play 41, too, because we really just want to maximize our Tinkers. I think I'm going to cut Ancestral Vision. It's very bad against Teferi, which is a card they're pretty likely to have. And it's also just like bad if you don't have it on turn 1. We want to be streamlined here. So turn 1, land, Mox, miscalc. Turn 2, Tinker for Sundering Titan, blow up your land. Or maybe just Tinker for Bolas' Citadel into cast Sundering Titan. Let's do that one. Our opponent has a sideboard, which is a little scary. I was kind of thinking they would just be running it back. Alright. After a deep dive sideboarding, our opponent finally figured out a configuration they like. This hand's incredible. We will keep, and we can do Tinker on turn 2 if we Vampiric Tutor for Chromox, which I think is the play. Grab Bolas' Citadel. I'm not going to play around Mana Tithe. It's possible they have it, but not that likely. We haven't seen it. And I think just like in a game like this, speed is of the essence. Do we pitch Consider or Murderous Rider? Probably Consider. Okay, let's put Bolas' Citadel into play. We'll play Snapcaster. We can't flash back anything probably, but it's fine. Night's Whisper is going to cost us 4 life, but I think that's okay. Drawing Toxic Deluge, okay. So we'll pass. Very solid turn 2. Adonto Vanguard, okay, we can handle that pretty effectively. Pass back. Play the land, okay. Hitting another land off the top is kind of rough. Let's just play the Oblivion Stone and pass. And I think I'm actually just chump blocking this Adonto Vanguard. Our plan is to play Toxic Deluge soon. So we're going to lose our snap either way. So we'll just preserve our life total and make it so that we can keep going with Bolas's Citadel for longer. Hopefully they just play like Silverblade Paladin or something. Then we can chump block, play Deluge to sweep up their stuff. We don't have a clear way to actually win the game yet. And we're a bit light on win conditions in our deck in general, but we can just accumulate such a resource advantage that hopefully we can leverage that into something. We can also Oblivion Stone to put counters on our things soon. Jump. They have to pay 4 life. Vryn Wingmare. Okay, that's fine. Play land off the top. Jeez, that's just 4 straight swamps. Okay, Toxic Deluge for 1. It's not bad. We'll pass back. We have removal spells for their next couple threats. We still don't have a way to really push the advantage. We've gotten like some card advantage off the Citadel, but just hitting 4 swamps in a row is really bad. Like that's kind of worst case scenario. They still don't have blue mana. Unclear if they sideboarded out their blue cards or if they just don't have the right colors. Usually people don't sideboard that much, but I guess they did actually spend like 2 minutes on sideboarding, which could mean that they did something like that. Silverblade Paladin. Okay, we can kill that. We untap. Ashiok. All right. Strix is a great hit. I don't want to go too low on life, but 6 is healthy enough. 5 is healthy enough too, and we can even ponder to set up the top. We definitely don't want those though. Alright, Ballista I want to just draw, so we're just going to pass here and plan on probably using Swift End to kill the Silverblade Paladin. That puts us down to 3, but then, and so we're probably basically done with Bolas's Citadel except for playing lands, but we can just cast the Murderous Rider to start getting a lifelink threat into play. Okay, they are playing blue. Adeline, okay. So we don't want to let them attack then. Swift End, kill your Silverblade. Okay, no counterspell, that's good. We can play a 3/3 Ballista, or we could play Murderous Rider. Ooh, counterspell on top is kind of awesome. So we'll plus. I would like to hit some threats from them. Okay, nice. Leon Relic Order Blade Splicer, sure. Then do we play Ballista? Yeah, let's play the Ballista here. And I'm honestly fine even going to 1 here. So I will use the counterspell if they play something we want to counter. And we're not too far away from getting a cheeky win. If we get 10 permanents in play, we can use Bolas's Citadel to hit them for 10, and we can also hit them with the Ballista. So what we're probably going to do is play Trinket Mage for Retrofit or Foundry, and then use that to put a bunch of 1/1s into play. Assuming we are able to pull this one off, do we want to make any changes for game 3? I don't think so. Ancestral is even worse on the draw. We could bring in Lotus Bloom, but that has the same problems of Ancestral, of being terrible if you don't draw it in the opener. And we don't have, like, the Brainstorm type cards to shuffle it away. Elspeth. Okay, that is interesting. I don't... So, we have a good blocker. I kind of think we just let this resolve, actually. If they just jump their Adeline, we can kill it with... We can just block with Strix. If they make a 1-1, we can deal with that with Ballista pretty effectively. I think, yeah, this is fine. I really want to be very... I want to save the counterspell for something we really need to counter. Yeah, they just make a 1-1. They don't have any attacks. So we're going to get to untap. Oh, they do attack. This is not a good attack, in my opinion. I guess they want to take out our flyer. We'll go block, block. And now the Ballista can kill their Elspeth. So, Sundering Titan on top, alright. We don't, actually, we kind of, that's fine, draw. So let's go, we'll start with plussing this, unless do we want blockers. We could just put Blade Splicer into play, but the problem is that's bad if they have Flicker Wisp or something like that. We'll start with this. Then kill their blocker. Hit Elspeth down to 2. And then we can remove 2 counters to kill her. So I'm definitely happy we saved the counterspell. And then we need to decide if we want to plus Ashiok or put Blade Splicer into play. I think the fact that we can kill off our own thing with Walking Ballista means it's worth it to put the Splicer into play. Yeah, we'll do this. I think we are likely to kill with damage before mill this game. Especially, again, with the Ballista Citadel, we have 6 permanents now, so if we could somehow put 4 permanents into play next turn, we could just kill them. It's not super likely, but it's not impossible. We can Trinket Mage for Retrofit or Foundry. Signet is fine. We could even Leonin Relic Order that if we care. Interesting, interesting. Do we go to 1? I think I actually will go to 1 here. Then we go Trinket Mage. I want to go for the kill here if possible. Grab the Foundry. Play Island off the top. Play the Foundry. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This should work. So we'll put Leonin Relic Order into play. Take out their Signet. Make a 1-1 with this. And then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's exactly lethal. We can hit them for 5, put them to 11, sack the Ballista to put them to 10, and then sack every single non-land permanent that we have to kill them, and we have Counterspell up in case they have something weird. Counterspell. Perfect. Alright, Walking Ballista you to 11. So we're going to win at 1 life with no non-land permanents. That's kind of awesome. Sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, pretty awesome. Game two, we end the game with 11 cards in library to their 20. They are really close to mono white here. We saw no blue cards. They're probably just splashing like an Ancestral Recall or something. So even though Citadel was good there, I actually think I'm going to cut it again because they are pressuring our life total. I don't love the Leveler, but I think it's still correct to play. Do we want to make any other changes? I definitely like the Oblivion Stone. We didn't use it that game, but it's good against their deck. Our lack of removal is a real problem. I really wish we had better removal. I think we do just submit again. I would love to have that draw again. Remember, we put Bolas Citadel into play on turn 2 that game. Hopefully we can do so, or we can tinker again, but this time instead of, like turn 1 Sundering Titan, or turn 2 Sundering Titan when they only have 1 land is kind of bad. We would have blown up 2 of our lands and just 1 of theirs. But when you're on the draw, it's a lot better. Especially if they have an island. That game, they didn't draw an island until kind of late. The problem with this deck, though, I think it's a good deck, but we don't have that good of a fair game plan. We don't have, like, Planeswalkers. I got this cute cat that, like, pops out of this thing. I thought I broke it, but it's good. We don't have that good of a fair game plan. We don't really have any win conditions other than our Tinker targets. I guess, like, Ashiok can win and Ballista Beatdown can win, but there's no, like, Scarab God alternate win conditions. There's the Murktide on the board, but I don't think that's good against the deck that has Path to Exile and stuff like that. So we are kind of relying on just like sometime in turns 3 to 5 playing Tinker and then that 1 threat winning. We can back it up with a bit of counter magic. But really, we want to be playing a deck that just scoops the Sundering Titan or Cityscape Leveler. Like a lot of decks do concede to one or the other of those two. The Wandering Emperor is a good one to know about. It's very good against the Leveler. This card is much, much stronger when the Unearth is relevant, but the fact that their removal all exiles does make the Leveler quite a bit worse. Okay, good hand. No Tinker stuff, but we can just put Retrofitter, Foundry out, and then make a jump blocker on turn 2, and then turn 3 Ashiok. This would be much better on the play, of course, but still solid, and I'm happy to see no 1-drop from them. I think we'd rather play the Foundry first, because we're going to make a 1-1 next turn. I'd rather be adding to the board than just, like, messing around with Sensei's Divining Top. Just pass, just pass. Nice. Ooh, that's probably better. Yeah, we'll play that instead of using the Foundry. Ballista, another good draw. This is shaping up to just be more of like a blue-black control type draw, which is fine. Spectral Procession. Okay, Ballista's solid against that. We're going to play Ashiok this turn. Then we need to decide if we want to trade Strix for one of these tokens. I don't love it, but I think it still is probably the line. They removed all the anthems. There's no Honor of the Pure or anything, which I'm very happy about here. Honor of the Pure would be, like, I don't want to say game ending, but very close to it. Do we hit anything relevant off Ashiok? Just a bunch of lands, okay. I'm kind of happy Colonnade is gone. Alright, I think I am going to accept this. I'm just going to block here. Preserve Ashiok's loyalty a bit. Not the best Baleful Strix, but we have good chump blockers for a while with the Foundry. So we'll just, so I'm not too worried about them playing like a beefy thing that we need to block with Strix. This is a big turn. They need to do something relevant here. Gideon would be the scariest thing. Ah, they do have the Gideon. Bummer. Yeah, if we can't find Hero's Downfall fairly quickly, that's going to be a huge problem. We have a few options. We could play Ballista for 2, or we could hold up Snapcaster and play Consider, Snap, Consider. And I think I'm actually going to do that. It just digs a lot deeper into our deck and lets us find either Hero's Down or Murderous Rider or Tinker. And Tinker's not incredible here, but it does put a big thing into play. We also do have the potential option of Tinker for Oblivion Stone. We're not there yet, and that takes 7 mana to be able to activate it in the same turn, but it's a very real possibility. We could also just find natural Oblivion Stone and cast it. Adeline. Okay. Oh, Toxic Deluge would also be nice. Okay, plus if they send everything at Ashiok, we have to let Ashiok die. We can't save him. They might send something. Okay, they do send everything there. Assuming they send the 1/1 there too. Okay, everything's going at Ashiok. Let's play Consider. Okay, we'll keep that. So if we block this, Gideon still takes lethal. Yeah, Adeline was good there. So we'll let this happen, and then post-combat go for Snap Consider. So I would much prefer to use Oblivion Stone the same turn we play it, but that is probably not going to be possible. Now we're opening it up to Leon and Relic Warder. Let's graveyard this. Okay. Okay, yeah, we just play the stone, shields are down for a turn. If they have a way to deal with the stone, we're in really bad shape, but if they don't kill it this turn, and we can untap and use the Oblivion Stone, I think we're in a very winning position. And we have 2 Trump blockers, so we don't need to worry that much about our life total. Just Oblivion Stone or Leon and Relic Warder. They have 4 cards. Okay, good play by the opponent. That means that they still have something left when we sweep the board. So we're just going to prevent as much damage as we can. Chump, take 8. I think we're behind here, but not by too much. Okay, good draw. So we could wait and do this on their turn. I guess that plays much better around the Wandering Emperor. The reason to do it now is so that we can play Sensei's Divining Top this turn, but I think that's not as high of a priority as making sure they don't play a threat end of turn. So we're just going to pass. So if they plus the Gideon, we need to do this in response because it gains indestructible. So we'll do this, sweep the board. We do lose our own Retrofitter Foundry, but I think that's fine. Next turn, Walking Ballista will be pretty good. It's worse when they have the Gideon emblem, but still decent. We'll see what they have here. If they have 4 good spells, we're going to lose. But if they have like 2 lands and like something that we can handle with a Ballista, this could be okay. Okay, Figure of Destiny is... Actually, that's pretty scary. They can make that a flyer next turn. We draw Sundering Titan. Not that good here. So if we play... interesting. So if we play Ballista, and they, in response, level up their Figure of Destiny, we lose. Because we can't kill it as a 5/5. The question is, would they let us resolve the Ballista? That doesn't work if they play well. The line that does work if they play well is Memory Deluge to try and find Heroes or Swift End. I think that's the line we need to take. I don't love it, but it's just so likely. If they play it all well, then Ballista just doesn't work. So we'll play this. We have one hit that we're trying to find. Okay, we don't find it. We'll take Counterspell and Swamp. We'll play Island and Top and just hope they don't go for it, basically. I guess we're not actually dead on board if they've hit it this turn. They can make this a 9/9 and put us to 3, and then we can find Swift End and play it and survive at 1. And then, like, if we Swift End with Counterspell up, we're in a solid spot. We get to look at 4 cards at least. They also, if they do go for this line, they're spending all of their mana on it, so they can't add to their board in any other way, and they'll be somewhat exposed to a single removal spell. This, if they do level it up, it takes away Toxic Deluge as a second out, though, and it also takes away Vampiric Tutor. Okay, so they go to combat, swing. Okay. Vampiric Tutor for Deluge is no longer now, but Vampiric Tutor for Swift End is, and just top decking the Swift End or the Deluge itself certainly is. Definitely don't care about the Signet. So we're going to tap the Island here because if we find Vampiric Tutor, we want to be able to cast it. Oh my gosh. That's just awful. Okay. We've got a lot of card draw, like Deluge into the top. We get to look at 3 more. We get to look at more cards here. What do we do? What do we do? We can cast Sundering Titan. See, this takes 6 mana to level up all the way, right? Yeah. So if we play Sundering Titan, blow up a Plains, then they would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So it's not guaranteed that they could do it. Unfortunately, Ballista is not going to be big enough. We can make a 4/4 Ballista, which would normally kill Figure of Destiny, but the Gideon Emblem stops that. So I think we just need to look at the top 3. We could also play Draw-Go and hope they don't go for it, basically, but then what is our out? Because, yeah, I think we basically just need to hope that it's the bottom card here. Strix is gone. Do we have any other things that we could hit? No. So I think it really is just we need to hope that the third card from the top is Hero's Downfall or Swift End. And again, if we just take the hit, I think we just die. There's not even anything we could find at that point. Okay, so we'll play Land Go. And then our hope is that they just, like, for whatever reason, don't go for it. Oh, but we don't even have any bounce spells. And if we go to 2, then we can't Swift End. Yeah, I think we just need to hope that Swift End is the third card. Okay, we'll counterspell this. And we are representing a ton of mana, so they might be a little bit gun-shy about just, like, tapping out to level this up. And then if we have a kill spell or a bounce spell, we're in a really good position. And we're representing, like, triple black mana, triple blue mana. We don't have any instant speed interaction, but we easily could. We know that our top 2 cards are both just basic lands, but there's one card that we don't know about on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to spin the top. Brutal. I think we're just dead here. Even if they don't level up, I don't think there's anything we could find. Actually, wait. If we hardcast Cityscape Leveler, that would do it. But they do go for the play, and that is lethal. All right, Dead to Figure of Destiny. Rough mana flood there. I mean, we got to play Memory Deluge, look at 4 cards, Sensei's Top, look at 3 more, take another draw step, and there's just like no action. Tinker was there. But yeah, tough match. We were very close, but we do fall in round 2. I'll see you in the finals. All right, on the play here against Nemo's 13. Okay, this is definitely a keep. We need blue mana. But if we find a blue source, then we have Tinker on turn 3. And even if we don't, we have other plays that we can be making. We also have Murderous Rider, which is good if we find another swamp for just stalling and keeping us alive. Evolved Sleeper. Okay. Nice. Okay, what we're going to do here is play Swamp and Pass and make a 1/1, and then if they just sink their mana into blocking the evolved, into leveling up the Evolved Sleeper, then we can Tinker and be in a great spot. Unfortunately, their mana base is good against Sundering Titan, so I think we're going to have to go for Cityscape Leveler and just hope they don't have a good answer. Okay. This is a spot where I would love to get Bolus's Citadel. Okay, we'll hit for 1. Then Tinker this into a Cityscape Leveler. This is a spot where Inkwell Leviathan would be much better. But we'll see. There's not that many cards here that would kill it. Like, if they have Swamp Hero's Downfall, it's bad. But we have an 8/8 in play. They don't have that much time. Demonic Tutor. Okay. That's likely to find them an answer, but we have Counterspell. So if we find a blue source, I think we're in a near unlosable position. If we don't draw a blue source, it's close. Okay, that gives us a chance. Knight's Whisper. Come on, Island. Rough. Okay, we'll play Swamp, Swing. I think I will kill the Evolved Sleeper. There's an argument to just letting them have it, but I think it's worth it to just snipe this. And then we'll pass with Retrofitter Foundry activation up. Acquisition of Kozilek. That's a little annoying. They can take anything they want. They go with Counterspell. And then Snuff Out. Okay. This is fine. They're down to 7 life. So if we draw a bunch of lands, we can unearth Cityscape Leveler later. And if we draw a bunch of spells, we'll probably be able to cast them. We can Ponder looking for lands. Knight's Whisper. So they're down to 5. We're about to make a 1/1, put them down to 4. Yeah, I think we should be able to close this out. Right, untap. I'm going to Ponder looking for lands. We're pretty likely to be able to find one. Man, where's our islands? I think I will keep this. I don't want the top. So we're going to go top, consider swamp. We're going to draw the swamp, and then we can consider away the top and get a fresh look next turn. And then we need to decide if we want to play the Ballista or turn this servo into a 4/4. I think it's better just to turn the servo into a lethal attacker. So we'll pass, then we can go pay 1, sacrifice this to make a Thopter, then pay 3 to untap it and sack the Thopter to make a construct. Okay, that's fine. Hopefully we keep the Ballista. Nice. That's actually exactly the 2 cards I would have chosen to discard. Alright, so they're dead if they don't have a removal spell. If they do have a removal spell, it's fine. We still have Retrofitter Foundry to keep doing this every turn. Alright, sweet. So we take down Black-Red pretty easily in game 1. Tinker is a good card. Do we want to bring in the Bolas's Citadel? They seem moderately aggressive, but not super aggressive. I will make this exchange. It's kind of close, but they have ways to kill this, and they know about it. They don't know about the Citadel or the Sundering Titan. I don't think we need Oblivion Stone, at least from what we've seen. Tezzeret, or Murktide Region is probably not good. I don't think we want Tezzeret. Let's just run it back with this. On the draw here. Hoping to secure the winning record. Okay, I'm going to keep it. Bolas's Citadel in the opener is very bad. It's just a pure brick. We're basically never casting it, and it means that we don't have a Tinker target in our deck, but the rest of the hand is pretty good, so I think it is a keep. Turn 1 Library again sucks. Or, I guess they didn't have it turn 1 last game, but they had it early. We just need to hope that we can find a quick Sundering Titan and bury them. Man, they're really playing around the Sundering Titan. You'll pass with miscalc, but this is not the kind of game that our deck wins. We don't really have much going on. They're drawing 2 cards a turn. Library of Alexandria is a hell of a card. Okay, no place. They're just going to hand size. We will take a look at the top 3. Jeez. I think we are like basically just dead here. We have no way of shuffling. And we're going to draw our other Tinker target and then just have no more action. We need to find a way to shuffle under these top 3. Like I guess we can just keep on putting Sundering Titan back into our deck. So we draw. Okay, in response. No, it doesn't make. Well, we just let this happen. A lot of snazzy lands over there. Very bad for our Sundering Titan. We're going to miscalc this almost no matter what. Look at Mind Twist. Yeah, definitely miscalc. So our next card that we're drawing is a land. Then the Sundering Titan. I think I will still spin the top in our upkeep, though. I don't think we have any 4-drops where we really need all of our mana. Come on. Okay. We have pretty good card selection. We have Ponder, Ancestral Vision, Consider, Vampiric Tutor, but we haven't been able to find anything. I think we've literally just drawn a land every single turn. So we have one more counterspell for their next Haymaker. Alright, I guess we counter this. But it's pretty hard to imagine a way we can win from here. So, on top, spin the top. Is it just lands in Sundering Titan again? Whoa! Spells! Who knew that could happen? I think we put Titan, Foundry, Counterspell, so we have the option of playing Counterspell off the top if they play another thing we need to counter. And then Retrofitter Foundry is a plan. That lets us use all our mana every turn. I think I will counter this. It's kind of close. My hand is actually pretty bad, but I don't want to lose the one black source, and hitting land drops every turn is good. So we're going to draw Sensei's Divining Top, and then immediately sack it, or tap to draw, and find the Retrofitter Foundry. We can think about if we want to spin the top first. See, if we play top, it takes 3 mana to play and activate the Retrofitter Foundry, so we do have enough mana to do this. Okay, Memory Deluge is a great draw. We're still drawing Retrofitter Foundry this turn, so we'll go Titan, Deluge, Foundry. But what that does is it lets us put the Sundering Titan on the bottom of our library. Like, right now, we basically will just lose if we ever don't make sure to keep the Sundering Titan out of our hand. But this way we can finally put Sundering Titan back to the bottom and not have to worry about that anymore. And we could potentially win with only this Retrofitter Foundry. Okay, that is really bad for them. Retrofitter Foundry is great against Braids. It's bad. I think that actively helps us to be in play. They should probably just sack the Braids to itself, so it trades with a servo. Alright, we'll make another servo. And so let's play the top, and then we're just going to tap it to draw and play Memory Deluge. And I'm just going to keep playing Islands. It's better against... It's a lot better against Rishadan Port. And we don't really have any need for black mana. So they should sack the Braids to itself, yeah. So that was just 4 mana to trade with 1 Retrofitter Foundry activation. Slight misplay there. They played Demonic Tutor, okay. I don't know what they're getting here, but I'm a little afraid. If they just have more discard spells, I'll let them take out my hand before we go for the Memory Deluge. Grief. Okay, yeah, you can take my Bolas of Citadel, that's fine. So now in turn we'll draw the Memory Deluge, fire it off. Jeez, just terrible hits. We can just hardcast Sundering Titan here, though. Is that worth it? I think it is. Sure. Finally, we were spending all that time trying to ward off the Sundering Titan, but now we finally... Oh, we also... I was thinking that we needed to play Island so we wouldn't kill our own swamp, but we're not killing a swamp either way, so we should have kept the... top. Okay, do we want to just jam Sundering Titan here? The thing is, it's not even that good. I think it's better than, like, a Sensei's Divining Top, but it might be better just to use the Retrofitter Foundry. Or play Trinket Mage for Walking Ballista. Interesting spot. Yeah, Sundering Titan really doesn't seem like it does that much. So, to turn this into a 4-4... No, I think we just get the Ballista. We can pay 3 to play Ballista, and then use Retrofitter Foundry a bit. Okay, so we'll play Swamp, play Trinket Mage, grab Ballista but not play it this turn. And then we will pass. I guess we could have swung for 1 to kill the Grief, but I don't really care about the Grief. And And so we can turn the servo into a 4/4. They've drawn like 6 extra cards with the library. If you can't win when you draw 6 extra cards, you might need to rethink your deck construction. Okay, they're knocking a card out of both of our hands. We can discard the island. Kroxa. Okay, so they don't have red mana. Ophiomancer, don't really care about that. Walking Bliss is a good answer to that. So let's sack our servo, make a dude, untap this, sack our Thopter, make a 4/4. Then we can play Ballista for 4 to kill their Death Toucher. I think we're going to hold off on playing this land so we can discard it to the Liliana. So we'll kill this. Then we're going to attack the Liliana with both of our creatures. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Now we could go at their face. I think I'm going to kill the Ophiomancer. Then hit them to 7, and then we can attack them with both. Actually, I'm going to send the Construct at Liliana. I think killing Liliana is worth it. I don't really want to lose a creature. So they can chump block with their grief and lose their grief, or just allow that to happen. Thing is, we don't have good ways to push damage. If putting them down in life was good because we had burn in our deck, that would be one thing, but Walking Blitz is gone, so I think I'd rather do this, threaten to kill the Liliana. We'll see where they block with the grief. They chump block to keep their Lily around, okay. So they're going to go to 5. We'll hold the land in our hand. Pass turn. They're also off of library now. Alright, sweet. We get there. Not a game I thought I was going to win, to be honest, but we are able to pull it out. So, this was our blue-black Tinker deck, and it was good. It was not great for a couple reasons, but it definitely had some strengths. So, first of all, it was pretty consistent with the Tinker. We had 5, 0, 1, or 2 mana artifacts to sacrifice to the Tinker. I guess 6 counting Ballista. We also had Ponder, Consider, and Vampiric Tutor, Night's Whisper, Strix, all good stuff to dig through the deck and find the Tinker. Sensei's Divining Top also helped with that. Then we had pretty good interaction, or at least good counter magic, with Counterspell, Miscalculation, Snapcaster Mage to flash them back, and Force of Negation. The spot removal was a bit iffy. We had Toxic Deluge and Murderous Rider, but that was it. So that's why we struggled a bit against the aggressive white creature deck. But overall, we had a pretty solid low curve with a lot of synergistic cards that can help us to do our game plan more consistently. However, there was 2 main weaknesses of this deck. Well, 3, I guess. The first is that we had nothing broken. We had no Moxen, no Soul Ring, no Time Walker and Ancestral. Like, no card that really pushed it over the top. Tinker is the closest thing we had to a broken card, and it is kind of broken, but it's so much better if you're powering it out with a Mox or Ancestral to dig towards it or things like that, which unfortunately we weren't able to get. Second problem, the fixing. It didn't come up too much, but we had literally all basics. And I would have liked to have played 16 lands in this deck, but we had to play 17 because of the bad fixing. We also got no value lands, so no like Creeping Tar Pit to help close out the game, no Takenuma or other lands that we could like just get any value out of. There was this Mutavault in the board, I guess, but we couldn't really afford to play that because the fixing was so bad. And then the third thing was that our Tinker targets were only okay. Sundering Titan is one of the best ones in general, and in match 1 it was incredible, but it was quite bad in matches 2 and 3, where our opponent's deck was playing like 1, basically like close to mono color. Maybe they have a splash color, but that makes Sundering Titan a lot worse. And then Cityscape Leveler is just not the thing you really want to be tinkering into play. It's not bad, and it can close out the game if they can't deal with it, but it has no end of the battlefield effect if you tinker into it. It only triggers when you cast it or when it attacks. So if you just put this into play, and then also like one attack isn't really enough to just win. If you kill one thing, hit them for 8, then they kill the Cityscape Leveler, they can easily win from that position. Unlike something like Archon of Cruelty or something like that, where one attack is probably enough. Bolus of Citadel was fine. It was very good one game, but I would have liked to have had like the Inkwell Leviathan or Blightsteel Colossus or just something that is a little bit better than Cityscape Leveler in games where Sundering Titan is not good. But definitely a sweet deck. We couldn't quite get the trophy, but we were one game away. That Figure of Destiny was solid there. I really thought we had a good chance in that match 2, game 3. We got to play Memory Deluge into Sensei's Divining Top to take a look at 8 cards over the course of 2 turns, and those 8 cards were, I think, almost all mana sources. It was like 6 lands and a Signet, and then like maybe a counterspell. So that was kind of rough. We had a lot of things that would have helped us there. Any of our other card draw would have helped us to get there. Toxic Deluge, Murderous Rider would have done it. Kind of an interesting spot. We also had the situation where we could have played Ballista, and then if they didn't level up their Figure of Destiny in response to the Ballista, we could kill it. I thought there was a good chance they would just make it a 5/5 though, and then we would be tapped out, and they would know that they could go for the kill. But that might be a situation where it's right to just like hope they make a misplay, basically. Kind of close, but definitely an interesting thing. So I don't normally do this, but I will say if you've made it this far, hopefully you like the content, and I would really appreciate it if you hit it with a like and subscribe. Also, if you leave me a comment, I'll make sure to get back to you. I really like responding to those. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.